of applause. Please make it bigger. Okay. Please clap for her. Clap for her until she sits. Great. Now, our topic this morning is unlocking the power of women in agribusiness. We are talking access markets and leadership. And I think this panel has been carefully selected for this particular topic. I am excited. I hope you are as well, because we have, I think, a lot to unpack here. Now, just before we dive deep in the conversations around this topic, of course, with a broader theme for this year, which is unlocking agricultural potential through synergies, I would like to just have you introduce yourselves. I know I said something about you, but I think someone seated would want to just get to understand who exactly is Madam Judith, who exactly is Madam Lisa. I think we can start from there. Over to you, Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible enough. Yeah, my name is Lisa Sendwe, proud farmer of the year under the Agricoop Awards and fruit farmer of the year. I won those 2 awards, quite interesting, and I'm happy to hold that title anyway. So I'm a farmer with a background of agriculture. I'm an agriculturist by profession, and decided to come out of the work, I mean the formal work sector, to run my own business. I run a fruit farm in Mungule, which is Chibombo district, where we are growing apples. We have a good number of trees for apples. Where people say apples don't grow in Zambia, I say apples do well in Zambia. And we have a variety of guava, which is throughout the year, and other fruit trees. Thank you so much. But apart from that, I do livestock and also vegetables. Thank you.
A round of applause for Lisa, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everybody. My full name's Awanda Nelly Chinyakula, and I am, according to our moderator, the Livestock Farmer of the Year 2025. So what we do at the farm is mainly livestock. We have livestock of different varieties. We do cattle, we do goats, sheep, donkeys, and now we have introduced village chickens to our stock, and turkeys as well. So that is, in a nutshell, who we are.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Nelly.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Maybe the mic is not working. My name is Judith Mwila. I am a lot of things. I think some of you might recognize me from television. I am an attitude change specialist. So I do some programs on family. I'm founder of an organization called Families Our Nations. This organization uses the families unit as the most effective agent of behavior change. And I want to proudly say that I use this organization to equally reach out in terms of my farming career. So I am a farmer, and I am a proud winner of, I am the proud winner of the 2025 Mixed Farmer of the Year in the Agricoop Awards. At least you should clap for me for that.
Please.
Yeah, so, and in my mixed farming career, I have been a career person. Like, I used to work in the corporate world, I've worked in the government, and now I decided that I needed to add whatever I learned in all these worlds to use it for my own business, and I'm agribusiness person. I'm also chairperson of the African Women Entrepreneurship Program, which is an institution that adds value to women farmers. I'm currently reaching out to over 40,000 rural women farmers who I am helping to produce and add value to indigenous agri-products, such as sunda, you know, those things that grow without, not the way we do other crops. So they are indigenous, masuku, you know, all the traditional things. I am also the vice president of the World Family Organization, and so I contribute to making rules that the United Nations recommendations on family well-being. So I'm a lot of things, but just to say something about my mixed farming, I do poultry, I do livestock, I do crops, I do spices. I chose to do that because I really just enjoy farming in all the sectors, and I am so happy to be here today. I know that I'll have a lot more time to speak. Thank you.
Amazing. A round of applause for her. Now, just from the introductions, we're able to pick that there is actually a lot to unpack here. And if you're as excited as I am to just get knowledge from people that have gone ahead of us, especially women, I think this is definitely is going to be that. Now, just from what every one of you has said, we've seen that there's a lot of barriers that you amazing women have broken. You know, of course, Madam Judith in mixed farming and community transformation. We have Nelly in livestock breeding. Of course, Lisa there in fruit farming and training. Now, the question I have for you is, what single moment in your journey most powerfully unlocked your leadership and market access?
Thank you very much. For me, I think that moment is when I decided that I was going to take farming, the mixed farming procedure further in my life, regardless of the challenges that I had. I work a lot with women, and I work a lot also with women farmers. And in fact, I also founded a cooperative called Mabanja Abuino Cooperative Society. And this was to reach out to other women who were finding problems, market sourcing, which you have mentioned, and also finding resources to improve their businesses. First of all, when I decided to go into this farming, I had an idea, like, how am I going to add value? Because everybody somehow is doing some form of farming that I'm doing. They are growing vegetables, they are growing spices, they are growing, and they are doing poultry, but they still have a lot of challenges. The market is a problem. Value addition is a huge problem. And so at that point, I decided I would do it differently. One of the things I have learned to do very well is to build my own capacity, skill, to get more skill about what I want to do before I even start doing. And I realized that actually a lot of women have just dropped off the route because they feel so challenged, like, how can I navigate this? I do dairy, so I was thinking, everybody's doing it. So I decided I'm just going to go into processing. I'll start thinking, making cheese and things like that. So I think for me, what the most important moment is the time I decided I'll do better than everybody else or do something different.
Amazing. That's capacity building. I think that's something I picked there. I think let's jump to Lisa before you go.
Okay, for me it's quite different. I was in a field where we were teaching farmers about conservation farming, to be precise. But there was something which I noticed. You know, sometimes we do things without understanding the impact. You go to the farmers, you are teaching them. This year you go, next year you find that this farmer has really changed. They are making money. Then the question was, if a farmer can do this, and I have the technical know-how, why should I not try? That moment changed the way I looked at things. Then I also looked at Zambia, to be precise. Like, we are dependent on South Africa when it comes to fruits. Is it that we cannot grow fruits in Zambia? That has been my biggest question. Now, if we are to grow fruits, why can't we sustain ourselves and make this a business? And I can tell that I've proven that we can make good money in fruit farming. Our farm is running because of fruits. We sell fruits almost on a daily basis. We have three orders in a week for fruits. We have guava throughout the year, which is selling. So you start understanding, like, oh, this is really a business. And it is a good business because trees are not just like you are growing them today and then tomorrow it's gone. These are perennial trees. Yeah, so when I looked at that, it changed how I think, it changed how I look at things. And I really wish to say that even those who are in employment, it's a business which somebody can go in. It's easy to manage fruits than the vegetables and tomatoes. You can go to the farm once in a week or in 2 weeks. You still find your trees growing. But leave your tomatoes for a day, you cry. So from there, I saw that, okay, we can make money. This is a good business to go into. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa, for bringing that up. Now, yesterday we had someone talking to us about avocados, and it was us hearing it from a man. So I think us now getting it from a lady sort of changed the narrative, you know. So I think it is quite insightful to see that fruits farming is actually profitable, you know. Finally, now I'm actually changing the question completely for you. And I think what I would want us to now look at is, what role do you think digital tools play, you know, with helping women farmers?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I would like to, first of all, bring to our attention here that we are actually quite big on the internet ourselves. The name we have acquired for ourselves, the business that we make, the sales, the growth, all of it we attribute it to social media, which is a digital, you know, a digital way of getting our name out there. So we have found a way to grow. First of all, by including these digital platforms that amplify our voices, that speak of what we are doing to the world. You know, they bring us changes. They bring us people that are looking for what we are doing. These digital platforms that we are working with. And then we have also, you know, in olden days, or maybe certain practices in certain parts of the country, people still rely on writing in the book how many got and how many what. But then we have found a digital way of doing that. We know how many animals we have. We know their birthdays, so to say, through a computerized system that we are using to record our systems, our sales, our births, our deaths, what is our loss, what are our losses. So at the end of every 3 months, we don't sit down to calculate and say, no, you know, we have it in the system. And that is how powerful the digital world has been to us. We also have systems that are running on the farm digitally right now. We don't spray our animals using, you know, the backpack spray cases that people use, or maybe the bathtubs, because initially we used to use a bathtub where I would literally carry an animal and dip it in the tub and throw it. But then we are quite big on the numbers. Minimum, we have about 500 animals on the farm, almost every day, you know. So that did not work for us. So we mechanized. We are using a spray race now. We are, even for vaccinations, we have not needles per se, but they are advanced tools, and that all comes from a digital world, I would say.
Thank you very much. I think it's good to see that digital tools actually can be used even in livestock, you know, because I think it's more on other crops, but livestock, I think it's really good to hear that digital tools can actually do that and make it easy. Now, finally, how have you navigated market access for livestock? So that's from breeding to sales, and what synergies with other farmers or buyers have helped you expand that's regionally while maintaining quality standards?
Thank you so much. I looked forward to that question. So, can I just take it back a little? I see we have youths here. Most of you are very young. Let me start. I'm sorry. Can I just take a few more minutes on this one? Yeah. I would like to start by saying there isn't a specific path that you must take that will lead you to success. There isn't a written path anywhere that says walk thee in this way. No. It can take any direction, and you still get to your destination at the end of the day. How we, first of all, even my defining moments for me was losing a job, losing a teaching job. I'm a teacher by profession. And I worked for the International School of Lusaka as my last school. So when that job was done, I needed to find something else to do. And that something else is the livestock that we are doing today. But when we got into livestock, now the question was, who is our client? You know, it's easy to sell one, it's easy to sell two, you can even sell up to 10. But where exactly are you selling 300 animals? Who is your target market? So we struggled with that a little, and it took us trying out different methods. We have the Kasumbalesa market, the Congo market, where people sell animals for slaughter. We have the local markets, you know, with supermarkets, Choppies, and Spur. Then those people buy goat meat. We tried that as well. And the general local market. And that didn't work quite well for us. So in trying out different methods that ended up failing, they led us to a breakthrough. Because this breakthrough then showed us there was a gap, there was a deficit. People are looking for animals for breeding. But where do they get these animals? We all understand that Southern Province is big on animals. That is what we do back there. So if you're looking for goats, you're looking for cattle, you have to go to Namwala, you have to go to Livingstone, or whichever part of Southern Province. How many people actually have the time to do that? How many people know the know-how? How many people can actually handle the tedious paperwork that is involved in doing that? So we said, okay, there's a problem, we shall bridge this gap. So we stepped in and said, we'll bring you the animals from this place, we shall do the paperwork, because that is what people are mainly scared of. It is quite tedious. We are going to do the blood tests ourselves, we'll do the paperwork ourselves, we'll do the transportation, we'll navigate the police checkpoints, and we'll get the animals to your farm while you're sleeping. That gave us an advantage. Our second advantage was capacity. We built our capacity so much such that as we speak now, we are capable of supplying goats, cattle, or sheep in hundreds. We can take an order of 500 animals today, and we shall have it delivered in 4 weeks. Now that is really huge. For anybody that does livestock, you know that is huge. Because how are you even sourcing these animals? If you are breeding, how many years has it taken you for you to breed animals where you can sell off at once in those numbers? So that gave us an advantage, because it brought us big companies. It brought us cooperatives. It brought us people who are looking for the numbers that we could actually give, and then not so many people have them. Most people will sell livestock, Mom would agree here, they'll sell 10 animals, they'll sell 15, maybe because they want to pay school fees, or they want to build, they're building a house and they want a roof. You know, they are not really doing it as a business the way that we are doing it. So those have been some of the things that we have implemented that have given us access to the markets. And then because of that, we've had to partner with entities like livestock. They supply our drugs. We have a few other private companies that give us vaccinations for our animals. You know, they take care of our bioenergy on the farm, and that has led to our growth today. Yeah.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now, partnerships. I think it's something that even Edith has been singing since day one. And it's good that to see that those are actually coming in even now. So I think let's go to Madam Judith. So now, on your mixed farm in Chilanga, you have a combination of livestock, vegetables, mushrooms, you know, and value addition while building community impact. And I think that's something that really stands out. Now, what practical strategies have helped you access reliable markets and buyers? And how have partnerships with cooperatives as well, or processors, turned challenges into scalable income streams for women?
So partnership is very important, and I think just the previous speaker talked about sustainability and quantities. And I think the Zambian farmer, the ordinary Zambian farmer, always worries about that. Most of the time, the idea is to have something that you can sell right now, and you have no plan about tomorrow or the next month. And so for me to sustain, I think the sustainable plan and also the use of partnerships has been that. As I mentioned, I'm reaching out, I'm training women groups, and I'm also working with various cooperatives. I founded a cooperative in that vein that I knew that if you are alone, you can't go far. And so some of these cooperative members that, for example, in the cooperative that I founded, are those that they are working on things that I am interested in. How the markets, when you talk about the markets, I supply some hotels with mushrooms. I supply some pizza spots with mushroom. I cannot do it alone. And quite honestly, the volumes are high. In a week, I would need to be supplying at least not less than 3 times. And you are not talking about, you are talking about maybe 50, 100 kgs of mushrooms. You might not be able to do it alone. So I have leveraged the partnerships in that way. And also, what I'm doing is empowering those other women who we have trained. We'll be having one training very soon on the 28th of March. We'll be training on, other activities, other products. But I have found that that kind of strategy has ensured continuous supply of the products. So we will train women to raise free-range chickens, village chickens, how to let go when the mothers have hatched so that they produce more. I can't do it on my farm alone, so I need at least another 10 farms that should be doing that. And in that way, we have a continuous supply. One thing about markets also, the people who are buying or the institutions that are buying, they want consistency. They don't want you sell in March, April, May, June, nothing. Then after 6 months, you reappear with the product. So sustainability is very connected to partnership. Who are you working with? And skills development on those people. So for me, I've identified women in very rural areas. This Saturday, I'll be having a training, this Tuesday, next week, Tuesday, the holiday. I'll be in Chongwe training a group of women how to produce some things that I need, like indigenous vegetables, drying and packaging. Then they are increasing my volumes. So I think that in a nutshell, what I see is that to get to good markets, sustain the markets, and also continue producing is to engage other people, but be interested in adding value to them so they equally grow. It's not about me growing. I think we all grow together.
Thank you. I think great insights coming up. Now we move to Lisa. What role do you think digital tools play, especially with you mentioning that guavas are there all year round? Yeah. What digital tools do you think are helping you in the journey?
Okay, we are in a world where social media, I'll talk about WhatsApp, Facebook, are all over, and everyone follows that. Sometimes we tend to undermine the numbers. We feel that people don't follow. Not until you post something. That's when you realize, like, oh, people really follow something. I'll talk about the fruit trees. I'm using McKinney Seedling platform to advertise. And we can tell how people can easily access. We are talking about people knowing that there's this also happening. So mostly when we use social media, we feel that people are not seeing, but people see and they respond. Sometimes we market, like yesterday, I just posted banana on my status. You can't imagine how many people called to request that we deliver for them. It's something amazing, and really we need to use it very well, and it will help us to grow. Because mostly we don't know what is happening until we see that this is there. Yeah.
Amazing. Now hold the mic. To every one of you, what key leadership principle has enabled you to influence policy, mentor others, and create lasting change in the sector? Of course, knowing that you juggle a lot of things. There are farms there's family, there is a lot that you're juggling with. So what key leadership principle has enabled you to influence policy, mentor others, and create lasting change even in the sector?
All right. We are looking at farming here. Not only farming, but farming as a business. Like any other business, we are not just looking at farming here. Like any other business, there's discipline involved. As a leader, if there's no discipline in whatever I do, then I'll not succeed. What do we look at when you talk about discipline? I go into a business and I want to do what I want to do because I feel that's the right way to do it. There are rules to follow when you go into a business. So by doing so, it will guide me and help me. I'll talk about farming. Like our mother talked about being consistent. You go into farming and you just want to try today, then tomorrow there's no supply, then who will follow you up? They will know that you don't produce. So one thing we need to follow as we look at farming as a business is consistency in what we do. We need to follow it up critically because it will guide us. Then as leaders, we need to understand that in everything we do there's failure. But in failing, that's when we learn a lot. In failing, that's when we realize that I can do much better and success is there. Yeah, because most people try once and eventually then stop because they don't want to try. I failed. But not knowing that when we fail, there are lessons drawn. So it's from those lessons that will actually make us grow. Without us failing, we realize that we are not learning. I can only learn when I've failed. I think I'll leave it to others to say more.
Okay. So the first one she's mentioned, discipline. Very, very cardinal in our kind of field. But then I also realized that I'm more of a democratic leader. You know, I listen a lot to what my employees have to say. I do not live on the farm, and sometimes I'm absent for a month because our field work takes a lot of time. I can't be absent in the field as much as I'm absent on the farm. No. There's a lot of work that needs my attention. I've got to, because that is where the quality control starts from. So I need to be able to see what animals are coming in. And I make that selection myself, you know. So I am more present in the field than I am at the farm. So I have given my farm workers, I have given the people that are doing our administrative work enough room to be able to make decisions, to be able to not to feel that they are a part of this business. And it's not just the boss. No, we are waiting for her to decide. If an animal is sick, don't call me. You are looking at it. We have a storeroom that has drugs. We have feed in there. We just say, I constantly just emphasize, if it were you, you're sick in UTH, the doctors are giving you drugs and you're not eating, you're surely going to die. So have we mastered our feeding program? Yes, we have. So what do you do when you notice an animal is not looking well? Don't call me to tell me an animal is not doing well. Tell me an animal is not doing well. This is what we have done. And if it fails, that is okay, because life and death are all in the hands of God. So I allow that to be our principal way of you know, ruling or maybe leading the business itself. Then a little bit of dictatorship as well. Because, you know, I work with men. It's a man's world. And sometimes, you know, the stereotype, this is a woman, and they want to deal with you a certain way. So you've got to put your foot down and just say, no, this happens this way. Because I said I want it done this way. And that is maybe half the time, you know. That is half the time for the men on the ground at the farm. I'll give you like an example. When we're spraying the animals and they tell them, close them into the sprayers, close both ends, run the engine, and then let them pass. No, madam, but, you know, they can go. I said, that is how I want it done. And that is how it happens. So it is like that also sometimes. So I think those have been some of the leadership styles and that we have practiced that have been a success for us as a business.
Thank you, Nelly. Madam Judith, your leadership principles.
First of all, I want to emphasize one leadership quality that I embrace so much is the pass-on system, that I am not always going to be there. For me, I am a mother, I am a grandmother, and I see a lot of youths in this room. I just want them to understand that take an opportunity to learn from someone who is senior to you, because next time they are not there, this could be your opportunity to rise. And a lot of young people in our country are right now jobless. They have no idea where they want to go because they are looking for a white-collar job. The other thing I have is I get my hands dirty. I vaccinate my animals myself. Right now from here, I'm going to livestock to find out the next trainings about, because I've increased the numbers of small ruminants like rabbits, sheep, and things like that. I get my hands dirty. I'm not going to sit back and say, okay, I've got so many animals, so and so do that. I don't, myself, I'll get myself in the field and work. And that's also another thing that has helped me. The other thing is following a vision. I must have a vision. Where do I want to be? Like my last birthday, I told myself I've got 3 years to be running around like this. Thereafter, I am going to sit back and enjoy my money, but I will have raised certain people. And that includes my children. I've got 4 children. Yesterday, I had one of my sons coming through because he's going to take over the processing, making sausages and things like that. Remember, I talked about value addition. These children that we have, you have to tell them that I am your mother, I'm your father, but I will not always be there to mother you or father you. And you are also going to have your own children. So it's very important for me, that has worked, passing on knowledge and following up. And the last thing I think is reinvestment. Always knowing that we can't put all the eggs in one box because one day it could just fall and break. So we are doing that, at least for me, and we are, identifying other sources of investment coming from the mixed farming, but how are we going to apply mixed farming in other investments? And obviously, knowledge acquisition. Learning does not end. I am still training. I am still learning new things, and I will not stop doing that until maybe God says, okay, time up. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, great insights for the young people and parents, because she did mention we need to train them. We need to really ensure that our children know that tomorrow I will not be there. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the theme for this year's summit is unlocking agricultural potential through synergies. How can women leaders like yourselves partner more effectively with input suppliers, investors, and policymakers, and even male-led agribusinesses, to co-create solutions that open markets, improve leadership pipelines, and benefit the entire value chain? I'll start with you, Madam Judith.
Thank you. So to benefit value chains, you need new ideas. And so it's an issue of getting involved with other thought, banks, and be open to ideas, but also putting forward my own ideas, and there are a lot of them. And I think one very key opportunity for that is to share the challenges, which, you talked about. Sharing challenges usually gives an opportunity for someone to share with you what's going on that is different. Yesterday, I got to use the new Zamseed app that can identify disease in plants and things like that. Like I said, oh, this is very good. And for the first time, I tried to share it with my workers, and they were so excited because I think that synergies, they serve as a backbone of your progress. All the time, you cannot always have the solution. You may know something, but you could be outdated. And I think right now we are in an age where things are all the time growing almost overnight. Where we were yesterday, we might not be there today. And so if you close yourself up and think you are doing the thing right, you need to encourage and yourself and also engage. As a woman farmer, I like to also engage with other farmers. I think the fruit farmer there, we had talked when we were being awarded. I said I was going to visit her. And so we just need to learn from each other, but also stand up where men think that they know it all. As women, we have some soft spot about expanding. We are easy to learn. We learn faster. Women will learn faster. Sorry, men, but I think that women learn very fast. And because they learn, they also worry about who else can I teach. So we need to actually maximize on things like that.
Thank you. Now, yesterday, one of the panel discussions we had, a gentleman, I think that's Mr. Harrison from Agricoop, did mention that women are also good loan payers. A round of applause for women. Okay. Yes, Faneli.
So, in the livestock industry right now, there's a campaign that the president has put out there, and we have embraced the 1,000 billion beef export. We call it, he calls it, and you know it sounds a lot because $1,000 billion is out of the world. I've never even seen that kind of money, really, you know. So if you picture it as us, as Fanedi Livestock, we do not have the capacity, we do not have the ability, the financial muscle it takes, you cannot do it on your own. What then does that call for? Calls for partnerships with the industry leaders. And in breaking it down, the government has brought it down so much that they are reaching out to constituencies, you know, to our chiefs, so that we have what they are calling animal disease-free compartments. So in these animal disease-free compartments, in each constituency, who are the livestock farmers? How many people actually own livestock? Are you able to contribute, you know, to the $1 billion agenda? Yes, you are. That then will call for animal health. So what are the practices that you're putting across? What is it that you are doing to ensure that your animals qualify when they have been tested for that market out there? Because it is not substandard beef. Even if it's goat meat for, you know, for Dubai and these AU, you know, countries, it's not substandard meat that we are talking about. Thereby, I would say that it is only through partnerships that you actually get access. It is through working with a government organization, livestock services, livestock, okay, there's livestock services, and now there's livestock as a ministry as well. And then a few other partners on the ground that will make it possible for you to be able to contribute meaningfully. There's a lot of market. There are a million opportunities for all of us in livestock. I will be very specific. I'll not say agriculture. I will say in livestock. The market is huge. You see, even the government itself is calling upon each one of us to contribute 2, 3, 4, 5 animals, because on its own it cannot stand alone to, you know, to make that supply. Yeah.
Thank you, Nelly. Now, Lisa, your name now has changed to the fruit farmer. Yeah? Madam Judy did call you the fruit farmer over there. Let's hear from you.
On my side, I would want to talk about the produce. We say no man is an island. And when we say behind every successive man, there's a woman, I would also say behind every successive woman, there's a man. It takes two to tango. No one has ever done it alone. We may hear of rich people, we may hear of this one being successful, but behind it there's a team. That's how I'll look at synergies. The synergies we need are there to help us produce. In the fruit sector, I'm the only one producing guava at the moment. On average, I'm doing 500 kgs per week of guava, but I can't meet the demand. Should I be that selfish that I keep on to this information alone? It will not make us grow. For us to grow and then talk about consistency, we need to teach others. We need to bring others on board. Like we talk of, let's talk about avocado. This same avocado issue, we have failed to export to Zambia because there are a few people who are into it, and there are so many mistakes. For you to reach there, it takes others to help you and to guide you. This you can do like this. This is fruit fly, you need this chemical to spray like this. This plant is lacking this fertilizer, you need this type of fertilizer to add on to it. And in doing that, it works. We need to work together as a team for us to progress and move forward.
Thank you. Now, before we wrap up, just a question to every one of you. I know there are barriers you know, there are challenges. Every business has a challenge. Every business has a problem. So what barriers have you faced, I think, in fruit farming or in livestock? What barrier is it that you faced and you would say you overcame, and how did you overcome it?
Okay, thank you. Barriers are many. I'll talk about one. Fruit farming in Zambia is not common. So even as you come across any disease or pest, you have to figure it out as an individual. It's not easy. You have to figure out, what should I do? Yeah, but in so doing, you engage people who are experts in chemicals. They'll guide you through. We are learning. It's a process, and we keep on learning. Otherwise, barriers are there. And then when it also comes to marketing, on my side, marketing has not been an issue because everyone eats fruits, and everyone needs a fruit. The challenge I have at the moment is to handle disease pressure and the pests. Yeah, it's quite a challenge because it's difficult to find the right chemicals or the right things to use. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Nelly?
Okay. Our first challenge was financial. That was our biggest challenge when we started. And I want to actually acknowledge that is a challenge for most women in business. People will tell you, I can't start a business because need pay capital. That is a financial challenge, you know. So how did we navigate that? We came up with a very smart system. We needed it, like we desperately needed it when we were starting. It was our backbone. But then over the years, we have grown, we have improved it, and now we are practicing it because it's a system that has worked. Why are we abandoning a system that works anyway? So when we started, and I'll actually say this, to date, when people ask me how much money do you need to start a business, I say, I don't know. Because I didn't have it when I started, you know. I may have a bit now, but I didn't have it when we started. So how we used to do it was, I started by becoming a middleman between the farmer and the client. So give me the money, give me 50% of the money. I will go and bring you the animals because I know who the farmer is. You know, I will deliver the animals to you, give me the difference, I will take it back to the farmer. And of course, there was always a little markup because that is what business is. Do not be afraid to charge. Do not be afraid to charge. Business is about money. For anything that you are doing, make sure there's a markup. Let it have a financial benefit. Otherwise, you're not in business, you're running a charity organization. So I used to do that. And in doing that, we kind of built our own liquidity. We had some finances somewhere that we kept on saving while working as middlemen. And that is no longer a challenge to us, but we have continued with the same practice because now that works as our surety. Like I said, I work in the bush quite a lot. I sleep in God-forsaken places. There's no network, there's no water, there's no hospital, there's no road, there's nothing. And I'm in such a place for three to 4 weeks. So I am not doing that kind of work for a client that stops speaking cause tomorrow. No, you see. So if you want me to work with you, if you want us to work with you, let there be a commitment of this partnership. Your commitment is financial. Our commitment, on the other hand, is a contract that states that we have the capacity to deliver. And that is what we have been doing. And also because we have grown our capacity so much, the only way we actually know how many animals we are working with in the first half of the year is if we have these payments that have been confirmed and the dates are written on when the deliveries are happening. Like right now, we are actually fully booked on orders from now until June. But that was not going to be possible if we relied on data that we get from Facebook, because we have very high engagement there. So we cannot rely on people saying, I want, you inspire me, this looks good, you are a motivation. How do we know our numbers? There's got to be that financial commitment to it. So that was our barrier, but overcame. My other barrier was being a woman and being a mother. Oh, it's so hard. you know, because you have children that need you to be there. They go to school. My oldest is 14, the second one is 12, and my last one is 8. And now, they have not always been that age. When we started, at some point, I had a 3-year-old, you know. So you've got to be in the field, but then you also have a baby at home that demands your attention. You know, so your emotions are everywhere because you're trying to juggle growing a business and being a mother and growing yourself. I am 33 this year. I was quite young when I started. So I had to find me. You know, I had to master my emotions. I needed to learn who I was in the moment. And now you have yourself to deal with. You have your children to deal with. And you have a highly demanding business. I have found a way to incorporate all that, because all those put together are who I am at the end of the day. I'm a woman of God. I am my children's mother, and I am the founder of this business. And now I can juggle my time in between all these 3 roles, between church, between my family and the farm, well, and I have enough time for all of them put together. Yeah.
Thank you, Nelly. Great insights there. Madam Judith.
Wow, a lot of issues coming out there, but on my part, I think one of the challenges that I see, and something that we need to overcome in this country, is the issue of effective quality control. I think that much as we are producing, the competition that is coming from outside, and we can't continue complaining and saying the Chinese are, you know, I'm sorry to mention that, but this is what we complain about. Like even the other day, we had the guys going to the market with chickens, and they said, we found others that were from some Chinese farmers, and the quality is so compromised. But as Zambian farmers, we need, and female farmers most of all, we just need to maintain our quality control measure to ensure that our products have got a real quality that people can spend money on. I was just talking to my workers that day and said, don't worry about chickens that when they just die, in a few minutes they turn green because of chemicals. So those are the kinds of things that we worry about, and sometimes they're not worth worrying about. If you waste your time worrying about such things, then you are not progressing. I think at such a point for me is now to see how can I influence government policy in terms of local trade, especially women. And women-led businesses, agri-wise, is very, like, it's increasing right now. So the government needs also to take certain steps. And so sometimes I would say policy challenges us as female farmers. And that is, you see that in mining, you see it in a lot of career development areas. But I just want to say that also it is just to keep going on and never give up. And always see that there is an answer at the end of your challenge. Don't give up, because that same challenge that you are facing, others faced bigger challenges before you, and they overcame. The other and the most quite common one is also, I think, mechanization for female farmers, to be able to afford mechanization so that they can produce more effectively without so much strain. And the government, I think, is on the right track. The Ministry of Small and Cooperatives, I think they are bringing in a few grants and things like that. And I want to just also say, to get to platforms like this one. So I want to thank Agricoop, because those are some of the things that women need. A lot of women that can be highlighted out there. If they got such a platform, they would be running away with a lot of market. Yeah, but some other women maybe don't have the access. So again, is to be in the right platforms, talking to the right people, doing the right things in the right way at the right time.
Thank you. I think that even answers my last question for you today. What actionable recommendations do you have for young women, you know, after all has been said today, after you've unpacked everything, what do you think someone, a woman especially, should take home with? What actionable recommendation do you have? Of course, as award-winning leaders from the Agricoop Awards, what actionable recommendations would you give? But also, even as you answer that question in a minute, I would like you to also just tell us what transformed agricultural landscapes do you envision, especially with Zambia, you know, as a whole? What agricultural landscape do you envision as a farmer, as a fruit farmer, or as a livestock farmer? You know, especially with platforms like the Farmer's Choice. Yeah.
So to the young women, young upcoming farmers, and some of you that haven't decided to become farmers, don't fear. Just face the bull by the horn and start. I think that one thing that people should not entertain is delay. You are getting old. You are not going to remain the same. So if you keep on running the streets of Lusaka looking for a job in somebody's office and you can't get it the first 3 months, stop running around and think, how can I emulate Auntie Judy and do what she's doing? For me, I mean, I'm professionally hyper. I can get any job I want. I'm qualified. I'm overqualified, actually. But I'm still doing farming.
A round of applause for Auntie Judy.
I am also follow some passion. Everyone has got some passion. If you can just like to, you know, to look after chickens, that's some passion. You can use that to make money. And I want to tell young women that stop thinking that the men nowadays, this is a free advice, the men nowadays don't marry women who are going to depend on them. You need to be doing something yourself. And the advice to the men also, the women nowadays, the young women are coming up powered. They are not going to be depending on you. So if you slow down, they'll bypass you and you will start thinking very low. So
a big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
In conclusion, I just want to say, talking about 5 years, 10 years from now, I think there's a revolution. And I think each and every one of us must find our place in it.
Thank you. A round of, if you're clapping, clap harder. In a minute, Faneli.
In a minute. Okay. So I will start with what I would like to see in the livestock industry. We have a huge clientele outside Zambia, but we have not been able to take our animals there because it is highly restricted. There is so much that you need just to be able to put your animals on a cargo flight and take them to Nigeria or to Sierra Leone or anywhere else around Africa, that is. So I look forward to an Africa that promotes free trade, that makes it easy and accessible. You know, we sit on panels where we talk about policies that promote women. I am sorry to let you know that that is actually just on paper. It is not what is actually there on the ground. Try and move one animal today just to Zimbabwe. You know, you can stand at Victoria Falls and pass a goat to somebody in Zimbabwe, but try that. You will actually realize that the free trade that Africa talks about does not exist at all. It doesn't. So I look forward to that kind of, you know, to that day when we can have such systems that enable us to grow beyond the Zambian horizon than on that end. And then to the woman, marriage will fail. People will fail you. Jobs will fail you. Your businesses won't. Anything else you may take with you to the grave, your business will remain as an inheritance for your children. Invest in a business.
If you're clapping, clap hard.
Invest in a business that grows your worth. You need the finances as a woman. Auntie Judy said, I'll tell you for free, have your own money as a woman. There is nothing pretty about, I'm asking for a favor, you're 200 kwacha. If you're asking for money, you're asking for a favor, please tell him you want a tractor. Tell him to buy you 3 bulls from the president that cost 200,000 kwacha each. Then you're asking for a favor. What I'm saying is have your own money as a woman. That is going to save you from a lot of unnecessary pressure around the world today.
Thank you, Nelly. A round of applause. And finally, the fruit farmer.
I'll talk about plants. Let's plant trees. Will benefit a lot. I want to give an example of somebody who will plant an avocado tree, which will fruit after maybe 3-5 years, but it will stay for many years and you will harvest from that. At the moment, one fruit of an avocado will maybe fetch 10 kwacha, and a tree can give you 700 fruits plus per year. So when you plant 10 trees, you know what that means. To the younger ones, it may look like it's far away, but it's doable, and we can rely on that. Then to every one of us, when it comes to land, let's secure our land. That is a must. I can't plant a tree today and tomorrow I'm told move out of this land because somebody else has gotten a title. Let's secure our land. We are in our country, yes, but we need security to own our own land, and let's get the title deeds so that even as we plant trees, they can be permanently ours. And to the youth who have, because we have a tendency in Zambia where somebody will say, I have 1,000 hectares of land, but what are we doing on that 1,000? It's just seated. Why not take advantage? We're not just talking about fruit trees. There are so many trees we can plant. An example is bamboo. You can plant bamboo. Bamboo is permanent. It will grow for many years. It still has. You cut, it still comes back. Let's think in a way that will sustain us in a long term than thinking in a way just because I've heard somebody is doing that, then I also go that way. There's a lot we can do actually. It's not just about plants. Others can create content out of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now, thank you so much for sparing time and unpacking all that we've heard today. We are so grateful. Edith, how much time do I have for questions? Okay, so I will ask anyone with a burning question. Just one burning question. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hope it's really a burning question, but I don't think it's a burning question. Okay, so before I ask my question, I would like to thank our mothers there for the things that they've shared with us. I've learned a lot. And so my question is, as she mentioned something to say, most of the challenge that women have to do agribusiness is financial support. So is there any support that you might render to a youth who has the potential to venture into agribusiness? Yeah, that's my question.
Most of the time we want to talk about finance, but we forget the technical know-how, and to me that's also a big thing. When I know what to do, it guides me than going in blindly. Let's start small. Let's not aim at doing so many big things. Yeah, in as much as we would want to look for finance, but I would advise that we try to start within our means. And to the youth that would want to engage into fruit farming, you are welcome. Visit the farm, we'll share the knowledge, and from there, I know you can start from somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll just take a quick photo, and I'll hand over back to our moderator for today. So we can just move.